Today, we're going to talk about the two most dangerous reverse De La Riva attacks, the false reap and spinning underneath the opponent. For the last couple of years, the false reap has been a staple in the no-gi meta. But remember, jiu-jitsu is cyclical. Something can be popular for a while, then everyone starts countering it, and often you end up returning to strategies that were popular 5 to 15 years ago. With that in mind, it's still crucial to learn an effective spin under the legs, also known as kiss of the dragon. Mastering this will create a powerful dilemma for your opponents. They'll be forced to choose between defending leg locks or back takes. But before we start attacking legs, we've got to learn the basics. How to invert and spin underneath our opponent properly. Crawl before you can walk. Spin before you can rip their leg off.
It's not so much that there are new techniques as there are new fashions.
Say fashions?
Jiu-jitsu is like fashion. Every year something new comes in. Everyone has a different body type, and for every different body type there are a set of techniques which work best. When a new world champion emerges and he emphasizes certain moves, everyone follows the fashion.
So it's Marcel Garcia.
Marcel Garcia. There are other people too, but Garcia is a notable example. And so it's not so much that new techniques emerge as new fashions emerge. And these are determined by people whose body type meant they had to use a certain set of moves, and they were very successful with it. As a result, other people follow those trends. And so, who knows, 5 years from now, the new techniques which are currently in fashion will be very different. These things, just like fashion, are, so 10 years from now, maybe the same techniques which Marcelo Garcia made popular today will be used again by someone else. But 5 years from now, they'll be unpopular. Who knows? They go in cycles.
Here you'll see Giancarlo invert and teach the fundamentals of a no-gi kiss of the dragon. You'll remember from my last video that Giancarlo used a reverse De La Riva expertly against Kainan Duarte. First, we always off-balance our partner. This makes them correct balance and move forward into us. Second, we use the momentum and begin to spin like a top underneath our partner. A key detail here is either taking a cross lat post or placing your hand even lower at the hip or thigh. There is a counter where people attack upper body submissions from here, so be wary of how you use that arm. Third, we fully get underneath them, and now our outside leg is more towards the inside. It's unlikely, but our opponent might try attacking this outside leg as it goes towards the inside, with an ankle lock or a toe hold. In the $100,000 match, DeAndre Corbet locked an ankle lock on the leg after the spin through. There's a couple modern athletes that have outstanding attacking reverse De La Rivas. Levi Jones, Diego Pato, Kieran Kachuk. They might not have invented the position, but they sure as hell have taken advantage of it. What's interesting is both Levi and Diego are exceptional bolo players. And even more interesting is how Diego and Levi use K-guard De La Riva in conjunction with the reverse De La Riva to non-stop attack their opponent. Whereas Kieran takes a more leg lock focused approach, oftentimes moving into 50-50. If you want to get to the back more often, you need to study berimbolo players. Levi is one of the best at taking the back. In the shadows of Australia, he turned his gi-heavy bolo game into a no-gi superpower. Levi chains De La Riva attacks, X-guard attacks, and spin-throughs all together dynamically. It's overwhelming. Tynan also has a strong spin-through, but his strategy in the J-Rod match was more to slow Jay down and make it more like a controlled gi match. A big part of getting good at taking the back is constantly looking for crab hooks and scrambles, especially if you're the guard player. Once you get some form of crab hooks, it's all a matter of methodically climbing towards the head to secure a seatbelt. You'll also see in a lot of these matches that the attacker won't be able to get the back, but they'll capitalize on their opponent's defensive reactions by forcing a sweep or a wrestle up. This is crucial for them because oftentimes guard players have weaker stand up skills, but when they get on top, they are usually terrifying. Researching for this video, I learned if you want the back, it's better to attack De La Riva style movements, and Reverse De La Riva works less so. Sometimes in life we hold on to things and don't want to accept them as reality. But playing Reverse De La Riva, you're probably going to have to accept the classic Kiss of the Dragon won't work. It's like Miyamoto Musashi said, truth is not what you want it to be, it is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. Now it's time to talk about two pesky counters to the Reverse De La Riva. The first is the high step, and the second is the black hole, or more simply, attacking an armbar, as you look to spin under. For the high step, Lachlan has some good advice on how we can free our leg and get back to a neutral De La Riva guard. I've also had some success with entangling my opponent's legs when they step into the hip pocket, but it can be a risky gambit. For the black hole, being aware of the move is crucial. So you can pull your elbow back towards your body. Another thing you can do is instead of taking the cross lat post, keeping your arm lower by the hip or the back of the thigh. It reduces your pulling power, but if you know your partner goes for this attack, I would definitely avoid it and keep my elbow more in. If you've made it this far, I applaud you. Time for the good stuff. Leg locks. First up, young Gordon scoops the top leg of the reverse De La Riva, then spins through right into a saddled knee bar on PJ Barch. Next is how Craig Jones gets on the legs versus Marigali. Craig goes for a K-guard dilemma. Instead of going for the back from K-guard, he's gripping the secondary leg, then switches off to a false reap. Super slick. He's the second best grappler in the world, so you would expect it. It's time for the false reap. So, a lot of the time when you first go for false reap, people will escape, and that's just a part of it, and you gotta just keep on attacking the legs, just like any other guard where you're attacking a lot. I want you to check out this entry by Kieran Kachuk. He's kind of the one of the false reap pioneers. He's going to do this thing where he inverts on his shoulder because his opponent is leaning back away from him. It is very impressive. So he'll kind of invert on his shoulder and pop right into a false reap, attacking the heel. But again, DeAndre Corbet is going to escape. He starts rolling with it, and then Kieran, a lot of the time, he ends up in 50-50. But you'll see DeAndre Corbett gets the knee to the floor, and then eventually he'll even go for his own counter as Kieran tries to move into a crab ride. And it turns into a stalemate where Kieran almost swept, but did not work out. Then you'll see Pato here doing his whole K guard. Just he's just a goat, right? He just goes for the K guard, goes for the inside guard, starts throwing over the false reap. This guy's like, oh, I'm going to put you in an ankle lock. And Pato loves this counter right here, just rips an inside heel hook when they go for it. So Kieran did something in the gi that I've never seen before. He actually ends up taking a false reap grip using the lapel. I've seen this only used for De La Riva setups, but it's really smart to use it for a reverse De La Riva setup, and it was really interesting. And also, just by the way, false reap is legal in the gi. I don't know how useful it is, but it is legal, and it's also a great way to set up spin throughs, many different attacks. Kieran has a really good gi game. It's actually really interesting. And that false reap grip, he's underhooking the shin for Kiss of the Dragon. That's the grip. And it's super strong. This guy is trying to crush him. It's not working. And then when he gets the weight off of him, Kieran goes for this spin through to kind of a 50-50 back take. Really impressive stuff. I think losing this match probably made Kieran not want to do the gi anymore, but I think he would be a really dangerous gi competitor with a unique game. So today we covered how to invert from reverse De La Riva along with some of the most effective techniques that come from it. You saw how chaining inside and outside guards can keep your opponent on the back foot and why outside attacks tend to be more reliable for back takes. That said, reverse De La Riva creates some amazing leg lock opportunities. I showed a lot of high level matches where opponents manage to escape heel hooks, but the knee bar, that one always is there to win you that $100,000. And when all else fails, we take the sweep. Thanks so much for watching. I'm still learning how to create these videos, and I really appreciate the support. Today was a bit fast paced with some higher level techniques, so let me know if you have some questions. Drop a comment with your favorite athlete from today's videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.